All right, so with Wayne, and tell me what your organization is called.
My organization is called Care Closet LBC.
And how long you've been doing it?
I started right when COVID jumped off, so we're about 2 years in now.
So I got to go and see just a quick snapshot. And today, tears, I'm driving back to the office, and I just couldn't believe what I heard, what I saw. How did you even come up with this idea? Or, I mean, so many people are trying to figure out homelessness, right? You're driving by it, you're seeing it, you're going, I want to do something good. I think most people want to do good with it, but you're actually, like, you're doing something about it.
To answer that question, there's so many prongs to it, but I'll just dive in by saying you're going to always have the poor with us, meaning unhoused, people who struggle. But what I do believe is that we all have the creativity and the gifts to be able to do things uniquely out of the box and do things new that can inspire people. So when you ask me, how did this come about? I was just 2016, I got injured from a previous injury when I was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
I got hurt in the early 90s, and then I hurt my back. I was thrown from a Jeep. And from there, and I'm sharing that with you so later on in life, and when I bring you forward, I'll explain to you why.
Yeah.
So now I go through my little journey of life. I come home. I went to Poly High School. I went to Long Beach City College, got a job at Long Beach Transit. And what's interesting about it is all of these things in our lives are shaping all of us and molding us for our actual purpose. So when I was working for the bus company, I was starting to see this community from a different perspective. I'm with them all the time. People are always riding transportation, even if it's just to get out the elements for a little while. So those are just planting seeds in my head. And then when I ultimately had to leave my job from that back injury, now I can identify with people who have disabilities because I couldn't walk for a little while. So I was just like, man, God, if I get a chance to do this and help, I will. So,
it was always inside. You wanted to give back.
Yes.
There was something inside of you that was like, I just know that I'm being almost prepared to help at some point.
Exactly. And I did like a Facebook drive for the city of Long Beach to help me out with getting socks and sleeping bags to just give out to the unhoused population. And crazy enough, it was a Sunday, and Long Beach showed up and showed out. I got like 600 sleeping bags, bro.
600?
600 in 2 hours. So
your first reaction would be Long Beach they're generous. Like people want to do something good.
Oh yes, totally.
Yeah.
It's the greater good. That's the mindset in that town, and I do believe that. And the amazing thing is we received 600 sleeping bags, but the horrible thing is I gave away 600 sleeping bags. That means that people were out there unhoused.
The demand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So from there, I just started going into the community, giving socks and T-shirts. So everyone who starts in little nonprofits, it kind of that's the boots on the ground approach. But then I just started meeting a lot of people and I realized like if you just put a lot of these pieces of the puzzle together, that is the avant-garde. That's the tip of the spear that will shoot that arrow that'll help everybody all at once. So you just get all of these collective thought processes together, and we all work together to figure this thing out. Tiny homes is the thing of the day now.
So you keep saying unhoused. I'm saying homeless.
Yes.
So like
the reason why?
Yeah, tell me the difference.
You got to say it is. People say that's the political correct term.
Unhoused.
Yeah, because homeless is a condition that's always there. Unhoused is temporary.
So a lot of people learn about homelessness through news or through an article, but by being a person that's on the ground, talking, listening, and I was blown away. You have these incredible relationships with people that live unhoused.
Yes, they live in the riverbeds. But those are my brothers and sisters. Those are our countrymen, you know?
And you treat them with such respect and class. I mean, it was really moving, but instead of letting the media or somebody else tell, like, if you were to break it down and say, where do most of these people come from? How does this happen? Is it mental illness? Is it drugs? Is it a combination? Like,
it's all of those things.
It's
yes,
everything.
Yes. But what's so amazing about the unhoused population is their resiliency to be in those conditions. Can you go without taking a shower for 5 days? Can you?
No.
Yeah. Can you go with not really knowing how you're going to hustle to get your next meal for 3 days?
So what you're saying is they are tough. They
have my utmost respect. Like, they are so resilient and so resourceful of how, and it's a community within a community. Long Beach is a city of about close to 500,000. We have 9 districts. But if you go through
And about how many homeless people? I've heard the count 2,600, 3,000. Do you believe those numbers?
So it's more than that.
What do you think it is?
I'd say it's probably closer to 5 to 7.
5?
Because people come and go.
Right.
You know, that's a revolving door number, because I'm seeing a lot.
And when you're saying unhoused, is somebody living in a car or a motorhome?
Yes, RVs. Yeah, that's
tents.
That's
all
homeless.
Of that.
Yes, that's homeless. Yes, that's without.
And if there was one red thread amongst all of them, is there anything like that you've said, this seems to be the most common theme amongst all unhoused?
I'll hold that for a later time because I don't want to get sued. You got so many different people that has, their take and their spin and their passion about unhoused. But what I have seen is the chemical dependency. I would just
chemical
say that.
dependent. So today we talked to Michael, right? Mm-hmm. And Michael said he's been unhoused since he was 7 years old. And I didn't ask how old he was today, but this kid was so articulate. He told me a TED conference that I should listen to that would change my perspective on stress and anxiety. How many assumptions do people make a day? I mean, I can't tell you, even as somebody who really cares about homeless, I must make so many terrible assumptions, right?
I think that is, we all have a different type of perspective and lens. Like, had you ever seen that one TV show where they were talking about, you look at this image and it looks purple to one person and it looks yellow to another? That's how we're looking at life, I look at it as. But I'm running into people who had their bachelor's degrees, master's degree, but life happens to everybody different. A lady who I was able to assist, she had a car accident 4 years ago, broke her foot real bad. Then she went to go through the process of suing the individual. But in the meantime, in between time, while you're trying to, go through that process,
she lost everything.
Everything. And then you find yourself in,
she's in
a community where will help you survive.
Yeah.
And then whatever else comes out of that, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the pretty of it, then I get a chance to meet her. And then she started volunteering. And then she wound up getting hired at Dion and Sons. And she's a welder now. She got her degree in welding. So by just making that connection, they took a chance on her. And now she's thriving.
So you meet this person, unhoused, has this crazy story, and you're just out there every day trying to make connections, moving people along.
That's
right?
it. Yes. Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Where do you get this, where do you get this energy? And it's almost like
I think it's just a gift. It is a call, but it's a gift mix too, because like I said, when I worked at Long Beach Transit, I got a chance to see the lay of the land and the Air Force, Long Beach City College, my mentors in the city. You take those things and you move those around like chess pieces on the board. So the city of Long Beach to me is a chessboard that you can just move and let's checkmate and help our people instead of checkmate and hurt them.
So again, the average person that knows very little about this, all they see is maybe somebody on their street or that's unhoused, but they want to do good. What does somebody do? Like, what does somebody do? I mean, I notice I've asked other people, they call their city council member.
Yes.
What do they do?
All of that. You have a lot of resources, but find those greyhounds or those people that are boots on the ground that are doing the heavy lifting or the fast running out there in your communities.
When you say greyhound, you consider
I'm a greyhound,
you're
brother.
A greyhound.
I'm running.
You're go.
Yeah. Just
you're go.
3 hours a day too. It's like, I'll pose this to you guys. When we all have, jobs that are work anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 hours, but tangibly, effectively, you're getting productivity-wise probably 3 to 5 hours out of that day. Because, people, will work a little bit. Then, we surfing on our internet. Just our minds are all over the place. But when we assign ourselves to do a task, I have allowed them to say, where are we going to clean up? And in Long Beach, what we do with Care Closet is they volunteer to help clean up our city. So to date, I have had the Unhoused pick up nearly 500,000 pounds of trash
That is so
by
insane.
hand.
That is so insane. How many
Think about that.
truckloads of trash is that?
That's Caltrans weight. That's those jobs, and it's just amazing to see what has done over this year.
So you are creating a platform for an unhoused person to give back, create purpose in their life, and help clean up their city.
Pre-rehabilitation.
Tell me what that means.
That's what that is. So come out here from 10, 11, 12. From 9 to 12, come out and volunteer, because I'm not an employer, and let's just clean up our city. And with that, they're coming every day. They're coming, and you're starting to see hope in their eyes. We give them a gift card, and they're able to
I felt that. When I met Kathy today, I saw it.
She can get her deodorant. She can get her essential items. And
some people would say, well, there's so much more we could, but you're saying we're going to start right here, right now. We're going to start at 3 hours a day.
That's it.
That's it.
And it's no judgment. But after you've been with me for a little while, then I'll say, you know what? Let's go to the multi-service center. Let's get your IDs. Let's check. The city prosecutor has established a relationship with me, Doug Halbert in Long Beach, where we have homeless court, where they have started expunging their records. So you just, after they show that they're getting themselves together, get their records clean. So now get back to work.
You're getting people fresh starts. You're just giving somebody to net neutral where they can get on a path of moving forward.
I'm just one of the pegs in this, in this little design of a game that we have going on called life.
Yeah.
In my little small locale that has put all the pieces together with everybody working together. So
how many people do you think you've helped?
Well, Antioch Church gave me 1,000+ tents. We gave those out. I can't even count the food and the sleeping bag. So, and shoes and just items and just everybody. I can't even name all the people who've given, but just everything that we've get, and we are allowing the unhoused now to assist the unhoused. So this past Sunday, actually, there's a woman who had to move off the riverbed because
you were telling me
once
the story.
Caltrans comes, which is state property, you're not supposed to be there. So they all understand that.
Yeah.
So they're coming to clean it up, which is only right. You know what I'm saying? And when they come, they give you like a 72-hour or they give you a 5 days, say, hey, you got to move. So she called me and said, hey, I don't know what to do. So I reached out to Miss Kathy and talked to them and said, what can we do to help her? And they said, our team will get together and help her move. So they rode their bikes over. They helped her, and I just got a truck. And we hauled all of her stuff down to where they are.
So you had other unhoused
helping the unhoused. That's the answer. That's the community. So, but you have the professionals, law enforcement, fire, your health clinicians, your school teachers. You got a ton of social workers that are being trained right now. So you get your team leaders that are unhoused that can help you with the community to assist the unhoused, and then just bring in the professionals to help them. That's pre-rehabilitation. That's everything, all in one. You can see that picture. That works.
Now play that out. Where does it go from there? I know we talked a little bit about housing or building.
It goes to the tiny homes.
Tell us about tiny. I mean, I've seen them. I believe that this is what Venice has, right?
Yes, a few. They have them in Los Angeles. They have them in Hollywood. Actually, I went to I think it's Harbor College off the 110 in Torrance.
Yep.
At the school. I actually physically went there, and they have 75. And they are.
And how big are these?
They're 64 square feet, and then they have some that are 100 square feet. So they have twin beds that let down. They have air and heat. It's actually a great space because most of the people that I have assisted or I've dealt with over this past almost 2 years, they're sleeping in tents. The elements, it's freezing cold outside, and then when it gets hot, it gets blazing hot.
So when you're a kid, whether it's right or wrong or however, your parents see a homeless person like, you don't want to be there, that you need to work hard, you need to do better. It's almost like a scare tactic, right? Like you could never end up like this. But like you said, people that are educated, that are smart, that have so much going on in their life, they find themselves in this place.
There's a young woman right now that is in the flood control, and she is African American, and she is fully fluent in Spanish. It blew me away. I didn't even understand and know that. But she was in the foster system. She don't have a family. So by the time you get 18, what happens? You get emancipated.
You're out.
So what do you do? Where do you go?
She went to a community.
She goes to where she knows. And I've been trying to get her to volunteer. She's come once or twice, but she was straight up honest. She just said, I am not going to be consistent every day. I said, I can respect that. Thank you for sharing that with me. But then you have some that will, and then some that choose not to. But you have to give everybody at least an option and a chance to try. Yeah. So we're small, but it's organically growing in a way. Just, you guys all out there in, podcast land, just keep checking on Brother Duke with Care Closet LBC. We on the move.
Yeah. And as far as I'd asked you this earlier, I was like, how much money, and I've already put phone calls in, and to really make a dent in Long Beach, and we're talking, you talked about maybe 5,000 to 7,000. I had heard other numbers of 2,600 to 3,000. But if somebody came today and said, Duke, how much money do you need? We want to get behind you. We want to do this.
But see, you have a lot of different organizations in play too. So you have Project Room Key, which is amazing. Project Home Key. Are you familiar with those?
No.
So those are from, I think Janice Hahn has those, where they're buying the motels.
Yeah, like the one on 7th Street.
Yeah, by Long Beach State. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, a real dear family friend of mine was actually staying there, and he loved it. I really salute and I praise them for that idea. That's totally thinking outside the box. When the pandemic hit, it just changed our world as we know it today. So those facilities weren't being used, so you put our unhoused populations there. But what does a Motel 6 hold? 26 people? Yeah. But you said you're dealing with 2,600. So you got to go find a lot of different space. And then a lot of people, and I'm going to be honest with you, some people just don't want to follow the rules.
Right.
They don't want you to tell them what they need to do. They want to do what they want to do, but we are at a place where we're trying to help those who want the help. So that's what you have to do. So
start with
tiny homes.
Yeah. Start with tiny homes, but also start with people that are saying, I want help. I want purpose. Meaning the people that are just going to reject anything. It's like, why make that your major focus?
Man, come on. You have brothers and sisters?
Of course.
Some of my brothers and sisters just didn't want to follow the rules in the house, bro. So there was consequences. So just in that, tiny homes, I think are, and actually last night was Councilman Al Austin put on the initiative for City Hall to put that forth. So they're working on it.
In Long Beach, how many would you be saying should be built? How many tiny homes in Long Beach, based on what you see, should be built?
I think realistically 40% of that number. Of the 2,600
in tiny homes.
Yes, and you can't have them all in the same location. You still have Project Room Key. You could even find land space where you can build, apartments, or the containers actually are the way to go. That's the wave of the future, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Container like Steelcraft in Long Beach. We have this like eclectic looking little coffee shop, and you can eat, but it looks so nice. But it's so durable. Termites are never going to wear that out. That's going to outlive, the population. So you have these little communities, then you have the tiny homes. You just have options. And what you do is you run them through the transitions of start at a tiny home, work your way through a container home, work your way to Project Room Key, work your way through Project Home Key, where it's more long-term.
Do you see any city, any state or country that you're following that's like, They've got the plan? Because to me it sounds like first off, you have to have the heart. You have the heart.
Yes.
You have the care. You have the touch. You treat these people with such respect and dignity. And you're creating. When I met Kathy, she had purpose today. She had power in her day.
Actually, I have tough love, to be honest with you.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
You have any tough love for me right now?
It's gonna come. It's gonna come. Yeah, you're gonna get some. But no, the tough love is this though. It comes a point where. Come on, try. But then after I'm asking you for do you want this? I can't. It's so many people that you gotta keep that umbrella open so that other people can come. Yep. So, for example, there's a young woman. I don't need to say her name, but we just got her enrolled in Long Beach City College. But she's on my Facebook page. But she's struggling in certain areas of her life. But since I can't be with her every day, then I have to. Yep. Find a creative way to help someone be with her to help her go through that process. She's never been to college. So that's kind of tough love. I can't hold your hand the whole way, but I care and I love you enough to say, I'm going to never give up on you if you don't give up on yourself.
Yeah.
Because everybody don't want help. I go to people, sometimes they be like, leave me alone. I'm happy here. I tried to take a guy a tent the other day, and he said, bro, I just don't want it. So what do you do about something like that, Ryan? How do you handle something like that?
Well, I think what I hear you saying is there's such a need. You move on to there's enough people that want help. So you're going to focus on the people that are saying, I want this. I want to get out of this.
There's other organizations everywhere that are helping too. So if they don't want this assistance, somebody else will come and they know where to get the help. But I don't know what you've been through to be at a state where you don't even want any help. Yeah. Who's hurt you? What type of PTSD have you experienced in your life? Because PTSD is just not based on being in war. You know, I grew up in the 80s during genocide on the east side of Long Beach with the Crips killing one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen a lot of guys that I played Pop Warner that are no longer here. Yeah. And at one time, we were all playing sports together. So we've lived through that experience. You get a chance to see. So it's just a delicate, fine line, but we have to keep pressing. We got to keep helping where we can.
What Michael said today is, you know, he talked about assumptions. Here's a kid who's been homeless since 7 telling and teaching me about assumptions. And what I think I'm hearing from you is we don't know what somebody's gone through. So why put our assumptions on it versus just starting with where they're at? If they're saying, hey, I just need a tent, that's the starting point. I just need a meal. That's the starting point. But I was just so moved today. And I've committed to you, and we're just going to keep pushing. I just think there's more we could be doing to get behind greyhounds. I've never heard this before.
They run, don't they?
I don't think my kids would call me a greyhound. They'd say, Dad, you're like fat and slow or something.
Yeah, but just the heart of compassion, the greatest weapon on this planet, I can say this wholeheartedly, is love. That unconditional, that agape love. You can't fight that. Yeah. Because I don't need to go out there and browbeat. I could just show you how I'm helping you. Yeah. And then one day, once you get it, you'll be like, you know what? I can do this. The little angel say, I think I can. Now, how is it that these unhoused individuals picked up 500,000 pounds of trash?
Yeah, but see, I think that is the missing component that I think so many people are missing is you are empowering somebody to make a difference. You are giving that platform and that opportunity. You're not just giving a tent. You're saying you can change our city. You can make it better. And that's so different. Like when you give somebody purpose, there's so much power in that. That's what I love about your model. I mean, I've seen so many causes. Like, do I want to donate socks and tents and, you know.
That's a place for that, but you want to do something different.
I like that somebody is finding power and purpose. And you're saying who could not, when you're saying 3 hours a day, it's like, how do you make an excuse for not being able to do something productive for 3 hours a day?
That starts pre-rehabilitation. Think about it. You got someplace you need to be. You got, how many people are from the Long Beach all the way up the 710 freeway along that runs all the way? Where does it end at? In Alhambra?
Yeah.
How many people?
I don't know.
But my point is, just imagine if you got 50% of the individuals to just do something 4 days a week, 3 hours a day. That's it. Productive. Exactly.
But why do you keep saying it's pre-rehabilitation? It seems like it's like the kickoff. It's like
that's it.
It's the start.
Project Room Key is temporary. Project Home Key is permanent. So if you have somebody that gets an idea of, yeah, you know what, I can do that. Certain people may have conditions where they can't do it all day. So I just say just a little bit, and it doesn't kill you to volunteer like that.
So I was talking to another guest on the show, and they talked about, 10 years ago, the city of Long Beach came out with this homeless plan, and it never got implemented. I mean, this happens all the time, right? Whether it's a city or a business, but these grandiose ideas, and then they land flat. Is there anyone in the city where you've seen or in government that has laid out a plan from, you're calling it kickoff pre-rehabilitation to a person is like where they want to be? Have you seen anything that you really respect and like?
To answer that question, that's multifaceted because the city has so many things that they have to do. I've gotten a chance to bring some of the city council actually out. Senator Gonzalez came out, the chief of police came out, and the experience that you had today, the same experience they had. But a chief of police, a mayor, a city council person, they always have so many other things to do. You have to have dedicated people to this specific concept. And because I dedicated my time to this right now I can give like, hey, this is A, B, C, and we can lay it out so that D, E, and F can come to fruition.
Yeah.
So start with tiny home, but you have to have proposals. You got to have land sites. You got to have zoning. You got to have all the different things.
It kills the momentum.
Right. But our resolve is the greater good. So this is no momentum that's being lost. We win or we learn. Like I teach my son in basketball. You're going to face giants in this game. But how do you overcome that? That's the same model that I am explaining to Kathy and to Kevin's of the world out there that are unhoused. Because I'm like, do you guys want it? Some people are actually comfortable right there, but you got to just make them more comfortable with your vision to get them out of that scenario and that mindset. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, so it's like, I'll take you back in history. What did John Kennedy say? Ask not what you do for your country, but not ask what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country. I'm not asking what Long Beach can do for me. Long Beach has been good to me. Long Beach gave me my high school diploma. Long Beach gave me, helped me with becoming a photographer and just all the different things, gave me employment so I could purchase a house. So now how can I return that back to Long Beach?
That's such an attitude,
Yeah,
that's I think that's such an attitude. That's an outlook, right? If you took 10 people, not everybody would. What's the percentage of people that really are in their day have the capacity to say, I'm going to think about somebody else? And that's why Kathy, for me today, here's a person that doesn't have a house, doesn't know where her next meal is coming from, doesn't have all these luxuries. She is working, thinking about somebody else, doing something good. And if she can do it, how in the hell else can't anybody do it? I mean, that is to me.
They see a mission. They see a mission statement, and they are doing their best to fulfill a mission statement.
Yeah.
When I was in the military, we had a mission statement. When I worked at a company, they had a mission statement. I'm sure here you have a mission statement.
Yeah.
And the people can see that vision, and they can follow the lead. So that's the same model.
And I think that's what, again, I feel like you've laid out a vision. To me, today, I saw a vision. And you took something that was very complicated, very complex, a lot of assumptions, and you made it really simple. And I think there's so many people that will, just like I, benefit from the simplicity of what you're doing and get behind you. I really do.
Thank you.
I feel that.
And I would like to say this, like the things that we're doing can possibly and potentially be a model for other cities to follow.
Totally.
To see this and say, hey, you know what? Let's try this. But it has to be, I'll take you back to Long Beach Transit. They wash the buses every single day. Clean up your city every single day. I wouldn't have even understood that unless I got a chance to experience those things.
Yeah.
Just a little bit by little bit. That's my tagline. That's my motto. Little by little. How are we going to overcome anything in this life? Little by little.
Well, I have huge respect, and I know we'll do this more and more, and I really have loved our time, really.
You got it, brother. As my son would say, I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.